This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe classified Nicky Tunnel Rat Lee from the Night Force. On the front, we've got what looks like a figure in one of the nice backdrops that Hasbro likes to put together for their photography. Man, do I wish I could get my hands on some of that stuff. On the side, we get this little informational thing, and of course, the barcode to lead us to G.I. Joe stuff to buy. We've got the same artwork from the front, just a little bit bigger. Actually, they made him look a lot more muscular in this image than what he actually is, too, so that's kind of weird. On the back, we see all the equipment that he is supposed to come with, which is pretty much all the same stuff he came with in the previous release, just in different colors. So let's go ahead and open them up. Here we have him in all of his glory. Well, I guess it's not too gloriful if he's like trapped in cardboard, but since Tunnel Rat is in the Night Force, his original figure did come with a file card for the Night Force version. Tunnel Rat, EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal. File name, Lee, Nicky. We are given the SN number. Primary military specialty, again, EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal. Secondary military specialty, Combat Engineer. I think that's actually different from the first one. Birthplace, Brooklyn, New York. And I really do wish I could do a Brooklyn accent, but I cannot. Tunnel Rat's family tree is Trinidadian Chinese with branches of Irish, Spanish, and Indian thrown in. He's a mutt. It was on the mean streets of Brooklyn when he developed his fearless attitude. Later, he even got tougher on the Ranger Corps at Fort Benning and honed his skills in Grenada. He is a qualified expert in all NATO small arms and is familiar with most Warsaw Pact explosive devices. Nothing is darker than a tunnel at night. The darkness exerts a suffocating pressure like the bottom of a great black sea. In that awful absence of light, imagination becomes a fearsome enemy. Tunnel Rat glides through Stygian tunnels with the surety of a natural denizen. The dark eschews the role of ally, and his weapon becomes his friend. I'm going to be sucking blood off my hand here for a bit. All right. So here we have Tunnel Rat in all of his glory with most of his equipment not quite here yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation. We have the ball joint at the head. Spin around, turn around, look up, look down, look sideways. We also have the chicken neck. He's got his bandana and his pistol holster on his shoulder. Kind of surprised the grenade's not a separate piece. We have a large butterfly joint. Like, I feel like this is the largest butterfly joint I've seen on a figure in G.I. Joe. We can also do the up, the down, and the spin around. He's got a bicep cut. We got the double jointed elbows. Hand spins, and he has the up and down articulation on it. He's got an ab crunch, so you can bend up and down. He's got the ball joint at the waist. I guess now that I think about it, that does kind of mimic somewhat the way the O-rings kind of sat. He's got drop down hips for added articulation. I know I never said this, but they are separate hips also. We've got a thigh cut. We got a double jointed knee. And we have a tennis shoe cut down at the bottom, I guess. And he's got the hinge at the foot and a spin at the ankle also. So you can do all sorts of weird positions, and I might break it at the rate I'm going. You know, I have figure stands. Why don't I use them? Let's take a look at his equipment. So, first off, we've got his rifle here. Same rifle that came with the previous release. Still has the two drop-down bars to steady it. And, of course, we have the little clip that goes in the rifle. With the ammo is painted silver. Or is that a magazine? Actually, what exactly would this kind of ammo holder be called? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a gun expert either. So let me know in the comments if this has actually a specific kind of name for it. He's got his explosive messenger bag, or Indiana Jones pouch if you want to go that route. The O-ring figure actually does say TNT on the front, but it doesn't on this one. He's got a couple of flashlights. In this case, they have the red filter on them already. Not that the size of the figure gave you the filters in the first place. And of course, the backpack is designed to hold the flashlights for your hands-free tunnel exploring experience. Although one of the issues I think with Tunnel Rat, honestly, and his backpack would simply be, if you're exploring tunnels, do you want a bag this big on your back while you're doing it? We have his little night goggles here. I believe the previous release was done in a black color. In this case, it's kind of like this it's not olive green. I don't know what you would call this version. It is a greenish color, though. What, gray green, maybe? He comes with his survival knife, which goes into the ankle sheath. Thigh sheath. I can't even get my body parts right today. We have got a nice set of bullets to strap across his chest. However, they are not in the same color as the ones that are currently in his gun. I also have some issues with this, but I will go over that in a few minutes. Well, hopefully not a few minutes, in a little bit. He's got his little revolver that goes in his holster. As I recall from the previous Tunnel Rat that I did the review for, the handle isn't actually big enough for his hand. Oh man, and that plastic is so stiff right now, I can't even get it in this hand to start with. Yeah, doesn't really fit very well in his hand, and just seems like the handle's too small. Like, they should have made the gun a little bit bigger. But they probably did that because most people are going to just leave it in his shoulder holster. Before we get too much further with this, though, let's actually discuss how the figure looks, right? So he's got kind of like a more camouflaged bandana over his head this time to go with the Night Force motif. I am not sure what this logo is supposed to be on his shoulder. Based on the artwork, though, that with the close-up on the box, it kind of looks like a chimera or chimera, however you want to pronounce it, because it kind of looks like a cat body with wings and a snake tail. So I'm not sure what that represents, because that's not what he's got on his previous figure. And it doesn't look like the Night Force logo that we usually see. So we'll get his pouch in place. Throw his goggles on top of his head, though not in position. It's kind of too bad they didn't put that on a hinge so that you could actually have it all the way on there and then move it up and down, but to a certain extent, one issue with Tunnel Rat is that it does feel like he's got too many loose parts on him, because the holster, the bag, the bullet harness, they all kind of want to fall off all the time. You know, his hand really does not want to cooperate here. Jeez. Bro, really? Come on. But let's take a quick look here just to look at the differences between the two, right? Oh, come on, really? Color-wise, they, of course, gave him darker pants, still in gray. His belt's different there as well. He's wearing the black shirt. His neckerchief is that kind of darker than darker than olive green color that they use. So, like, if you look at Tunnel Rat's shirt here, it's more of the more normal kind of army green you see. This is a darker version, which does make sense for going with the whole Night Force theme, because you don't quite want to have black if you're trying to hide in the dark. You want to have more of a charcoal color or a, darker greens and, well, maybe not purple, but, browns and greens and just kind of the darker color to help blend in with the darkness rather than overshadow the darkness. He's got the red filters. The backpacks are different colors. Here he's actually got his Tunnel Rat logo, and here he's got that weird... it kind of looks like a World Domination logo to me. If anybody knows what that is actually supposed to represent, please let me know, because I just don't understand it. Just looking at it just cries to me, villain. Nicky here also does not have the face paints on his face as well, so you get to see a good look at his handsome features. The guns are pretty much painted the same, with the only big difference being that he again has the red filter on the scope, which is that whole like using the infrared to look in the dark thing. I think that's what that's supposed to represent. Unfortunately, I packed away the helmet headpiece part for with my Tunnel Rat that I have on my display here, because I just don't like it. Truth, people, truth. But yeah, they got rid of all of the markings that he had. But they did add, when you look at the wrists here, it's probably gonna be hard to tell, but it does look like he's either got a watch or a countdown timer. Being that he is an explosives person, it probably is a timer They're used as a timer for when he sets charges somewhere. Overall, I like the look of the Night Force Tunnel Rat, but it is a little disappointing too, because it doesn't really match up quite as well with the original Night Force version of Tunnel Rat. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I have at one point when I started collecting like the O-ring figures, I did try to get as many of the different variations on Tunnel Rat as I could, because he ended up being my favorite figure design. So I do in fact have the original Night Force Tunnel Rat to use as a comparison. So being more aimed at kids than the previous ones, the classified goes for what would probably be more realistic coloring. However, I still think they should have stuck with the yellow and fluorescent orange color on like the bullets here, because that was a trademark on the G.I. Joe Night Force items back in the days. Because if you look at the vehicles, like what was it, the Night Force Shark, Tiger Shark, which was like the was it actually called the Shark sub? But it was the sub that Deep Six originally came with, and it could fly and go into the water. They had that, and that was black, and it had the fluorescent orange panels and everything on it, and weapons, and it looks really cool. Same with the Tiger Force Whale, or Tiger Whale, maybe. No, Tiger Force. Jesus. Night Force. But also, with these, you had this brighter, actually more towards the olive army green color, rather than the more muted ones here. Again, this realistically is, of course, better for what they're trying to do with the Night Force look. But I still actually really like the old color scheme that they have here. I don't know if I can... I am terrible at painting, and I avoid painting at all costs. But it would be really kind of cool to be able to repaint one of these to look like this. Or, who knows, with how quickly Hasbro put this out, maybe what they'll do is they'll do toy versions like they've been doing with like the Transformers. Although I don't think those would go as well with the G.I. Joe figures. So, anyway. Poor Anna here. Oh, Nicky, I really do like the new uniform. You look very hot and handsome in that. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate it. Anyway, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace and love.